Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's Red Zone. This week, presentation will be a little different than we normally do for external modules and features. This week's presentation, in my opinion, I think is a little fun and very different, as I mentioned. So I'm going to be going over a way you can use ChatGPT when you're creating any instruments, specifically embedding those instruments, creating branching logic, using the source code. We'll be using some HTML in there. So for this presentation, it's going to be more kind of an introductory. I could see this kind of possibly down the road being a part two, digging a little deeper, but more importantly, it's just an introduction of how you can utilize ChatGPT with REDCap. I would say this would take a little bit more kind of intermediate or advanced REDCap skills as something I would not recommend for someone that's new or novice coming into REDCap. So we'll get started. So as I mentioned, we're mainly going to I'll start off the first segment of the ChatGPT. So the sole purpose of this presentation was, can we use ChatGPT to kind of expedite, if anyone has experience with creating any, if you have had any source documents and you've had to embed those, do some branching logic, especially for source documents, or it could be anything that you're doing a report. It does take a lot of time, especially if you're using some color schemes. You can definitely get very fancy on that. So the whole purpose of using ChatGPT is to expedite that. And more importantly, how accurate is it? And it is something that could be effective down the road. So to start off, I would just like to say that with ChatGPT or any AI type of functionality used, you should always just be cautious with HIPAA or PII, just personal identification information, as it does now have kind of a memory retaining system. And if this were to get breached, obviously you don't want to have any HIPAA or any PII information kind of in there to get exposed. So definitely kind of just always side on the side of caution. In this presentation, it was all just kind of made up. I wanted it to create me as you can kind of see this window here. So if you see these grays, these are my prompts that I've asked it by simply texting here. I'd also like to state that I am not paying for the paid version of ChatGPT. I'm using the basic free one by creating an account. So I'm not using a advanced one or a paid one or anything like that, just generic free one. And like I mentioned, any of these screens are my windows. So to start off, I asked it to create me a Word source document, something that I want to upload into REDCap. I want to create like a fake day one visit Word document. If anyone's used ChatGPT in the past, you'll understand that essentially it takes everything literal. So you want to definitely guide it and feed it the information the right direction. A lot of this was kind of going back and forth, feeding it exactly what I was looking for. So I asked it here, I needed to create, like I mentioned, a source document, a Word. So that way I can essentially create it afterwards into a CSV file and upload it into REDCap. So as you can see here, it created this information. And then scroll down, I did ask it, hey, can you just actually create this as a Word document? I won't try to open up that window, but I'll show you just so you guys can see from this window what that Word document was. So as you can see, it's a day one source document. And it has a subject ID, date of the visit. We have some vitals here, some basic information. It gave me an inclusion, exclusion. We have a little medical history section, a physical exam, study drug administration, adverse event, which later on the road I actually found an AE, so you might see this twice, an investigator signature section that it created. So this is that Word document that it created using ChatGPT. Following that, I said, okay, can you now convert this document into a CSV file? I'd like to use some embedding and branching logic for this CSV file. One thing I did notice when it did create this, and we'll kind of get into once I go switch it back to the REDCap aspect, it's not 100% accurate. I would say definitely 95%. And when I go into our REDCap window, I'll kind of explain it a little further. And that's probably another thing I'd like to kind of just mention. If you are, advanced or intermediate and you do want to play in a made up project just for fun, I would definitely, recommend to always just verify every information you upload if you do use the data dictionary, because it's not going to be 100% accurate, but at the end, you will see kind of how impressive this was generating all of this information. So Once it created that CSV file, I said, okay, perfect. I kind of started to feed. I didn't like the header section. I kind of wanted it to move around some things here. Kind of scroll. The next thing that I wanted to do was kind of create an embedded section with ChatGPT. I've kind of come to realize that its bigger strength, I know there's other aspects you can use this in, but more specifically with coding, I think it's a good tool to kind of check your code, which HTML, Python, PHP, SQL, any type of coding. I think that's its strength. So that's something I realized, hey, instead of when I did do created my descriptive field using the rich text editor, I felt like it would struggle when we do create a table to kind of get those perfectly centered and everything. So I actually ended up using the source code, and in that, it created the HTML file for me. So as you can kind of see here, I started to play with it. It did kind of spit that out for me. I did catch a couple of errors that I didn't really like. The other thing that I did upload into this, as you can see here, I did upload a file. And if you've never used it, you would just simply click this plus window, then you would just upload it from your files. Again, as I mentioned, definitely everything that's stored in here. This has no information. It's all made up. Definitely just never upload any, documents that have PHI or PI. Just on the side of caution, I would highly advise from doing that. But I did upload a kind of a made up ConMed log, and I said, hey, and this was a PDF document as well, which again, I wanted to test that out. Okay, if I do upload a document versus asking it to generate one, how accurate is it going to be creating that CSV file and give me that HTML code? So I said, perfect, using that same color scheme, let's stick with the same thing. I want this embedded, and also I need that source code for the HTML so that way I can start embedding those fields. And as you can see, it quickly gave me that. There'll be downloadable files. You'll download them. As far as for your HTML code, you would just paste it. And I'll show you guys in a bit once we do jump into the REDCap section. Um, then I kind of started to say, okay, well, I started to catch some things. I didn't really like it to go. It gives me some more information. The last document I did upload into it was an AE log. As I mentioned previously, the source day one did have a AE, but that was on my mistake of not requesting that. But I actually had an AE event log that I actually wanted to utilize for kind of this practice as well. And the neat thing too, each form was different as far as some were in landscape format, some were in portrait format. So I wanted to see how it could generate those. And again, same thing. And I'll show you as well the code book, because again, I just want to say 98% of the project I'll present to you was all ChatGPT. That includes the variable names. And again, the name convention was really impressive. It wasn't something completely off the charts that you would see and be like, well, that could be an issue down the road, with your code book and anything like that. It actually generated some really good variable names and field names. So again, it gave me that information. And this was more kind of me fine tuning it of what I liked, what I didn't like. So now I'd kind of like to go back into REDCap. So one thing, if anyone has used the data dictionary, and again, this for in order to kind of use a data dictionary, I'd highly recommend someone that definitely is either the project manager, the project lead, or if the PI is involved. As someone that's going to be doing this, you will be affecting your project. It should always be in development. You should never be in production when doing this. Another thing before we get started into the actual REDCap section, if you are going to be doing this, I would highly recommend creating a snapshot of your instruments just in case those changes would have to be reverted. You always have a backup file to revert with. And it's also neat too. It's a good way for you to kind of practice, like I mentioned. For me, I just generated a blank canvas. There was no templates or anything pulled, just a blank one to kind of play with it and really test it out. So going into your data dictionary, let's say if you guys were the ones kind of creating this, you've generated your files, you've opened up, anyone that has seen a CSV file, essentially it's going to be an Excel. You've verified those files, verified that the field names are accurate, everything is matching up. What you would do then is you would go into your upload section, you would choose that file, you would upload it. If there are any issues, they will pop up in this window. And like I mentioned, I did notice that on some of the embedded fields. It would actually, so for a field name, let's say it was AE underscore one, if there was multiple fields that I was using a branching logic, for some reason it would have it as a repeating. So it'd be AE event one, AE underscore event two, so on and so forth. So it took it as multiple occasions, but again, it should have been the same name. It should have not changed it. So all it really took from me from the CSV file is to kind of just modify that. And that's something that's very neat about the CSV. You can quickly change it there. Once all errors or anything have gone through, you would then just click upload file. And when I'm talking about upload file, that was for these three instruments. If I were to upload just the first one it created for me, it's only going to have one instrument, meaning the day one visit. So I asked it to essentially kind of combine all three of those instruments for me. So that way, once I went to the data dictionary, I didn't have to create one. So and as I mentioned, if anyone has in the past created any of these, you know how time consuming is. You can see for day one, you're talking about 34 instruments. For ConMeds logs, 78. Due to the fact that, it is kind of a repeating log. If anyone's done a ConMed medication log, it could be several medications someone could be on. AE, very similar to that. So once I've uploaded that, I've created my snapshot. Next thing you want to do, like I mentioned, is always verify all that information. Don't ever take it as it's completely accurate. Everything is working properly. As I mentioned, I did catch a couple of errors, two of which were fixed, but I wanted to show one for the sake of the presentation. So if we go to our kind of where we have everything embedded here, if we go to this field, we can see that it's a descriptive text. But for our instrument number three, our AEs, I left it still, you're going to see it as a text box. And that's something obviously that kind of just highlights, it's not 100% accurate, but that's something that you can catch as if you'll be able to see it actually in the other window. And if anyone that has, had any fields like that with descriptive and text, as you can see here, it's kind of a little more compressed versus when you do the descriptive, it's going to fully fill out this whole page and then hence we could see this little window. So that was one of those little errors I did catch. Second one was for, again, you should always be testing all of your projects just to ensure the accuracy, was in day one. In my signature field, it actually wasn't a signature field itself. It was more set up for a text box. So I had to change that. And let me show you guys just what that kind of looks like, and then I'll show you more of the code book access. So I apologize for kind of skimming through that quickly. So we'll kind of create a field, and then I'll go into the source code as well. So as I mentioned, this is all ChatGPT's generated fields from that Word document you saw for day one. So this was that field that it created for me when I asked it to create it into a CSV file, give me that HTML code for my source code. So we have our day one. I kind of like these color schemes, so I kind of had them stick around. It's not a good contrast, but I felt just for the sake of this, we'll kind of keep it simple. So we have our temperature. I'll use this autofill shortly. Again, this is more for RedCap administrators, and it just kind of helps expedite this information. But we do have our temperature, our heart rate, respiratory, blood oxygen, blood pressure, age. And again, a lot of these, if you don't like how they're formatted, you can definitely kind of just play with it. But this was part of the inclusion, the exclusion section, medical history as well. We have our physical exam, study administration drugs, AEs. So if there was any AEs reported, what were they? And then lastly, that signature section. And as you can see, I mean, testing this out, I mean, me personally, just from visually, it's pretty impressive to see that it generated all this information. Next up, we'll show you the next one. So this is the ConMed. As I mentioned, with the ConMed log, obviously it's going to have a repeating one. I could have set up similar to Manny. He did do a demonstration. I think he used the CSS injector where for any instruments that do have multiple, you can kind of just hit a little plus button. So that way you don't have it kind of as a running log. If you needed to add a new medication, you would add that. But just for the sake of it, just to kind of point out, the AI, ChatGPT and its functionality with this ConMed. So we also have the top header, the protocol, site number, PI name, subject initial, study number, similar to you would have for physical source documents. We have our medication section that you would fill out. If they were taking another medication, you would fill that out. And for those that are not too familiar with research, so ConMeds would be if a research subject is in a study drug trial, if they're taking Tylenol, Advil, ibuprofen, anything prescribed, you'd want to have that listed out. So down the road in your study, when you have them for a visit, if they say, have you had any adverse events? I had a headache or anything like that, you have those medications listed to kind of roll those out. So we'll kind of autofill those as they are very, redundant, the same thing over and over it's asking. Again, this is all of it. A lot of it was just kind of fine tuning it, but 98 to 95%, this was completely all ChatGPT. We'll complete it. We'll go into our next one. Lastly, we have our adverse event log. So going through the same kind of motion that we saw, any adverse events that occurred, that would be filled out description, the start and end date. Something also to kind of point out, as I mentioned, this isn't typically, for research, but all of these year, month, dates were uniform. So it was neat that it didn't have a different format. This one be month, date, year, or vice versa. It kind of retained that. And if anyone's ever worked with any of this when you're generating reports or anything like that, that's something that's very important because you don't want to have different dates or times or anything like that because it could throw off your data if you want to pull reports or anything. But it did retain that information. SAE, just a simple yes or no. Severity, relationship to study drug, could it be related? Actions taken, the outcome. And then at the end, we'll also have, I believe, a investigator initials. So we'll kind of fill that out. Next up, I would like to kind of show you guys the source code. Show you this one here. So again, just setting up a descriptive fields, opening up the source code. I won't spend time, especially if no one's too familiar with HTML or anything like that, but essentially when I did ask it to kind of spit me out that code, pasting it here, and I think what was impressive for me was the actual solution of what it actually spit out, that it actually came out clean. It didn't have the curly brackets. That's one thing I did notice, actually, I forgot to mention. So that was probably one of the other things, kind of just fine tuning it. Again, if you wanted different colors, you can definitely ask it if you didn't like the format, but I think majority, I'll show you guys also the code book just for that. But that's something for me. I think just seeing all that information that it kind of put out, I think definitely was very time saving. As far as I think my final thoughts on this was, could this be something beneficial to someone in a project that has, a very extensive, study, you're talking about a 30, 50 days, or let's say you have multiple arms or anything like that. Yes, 100%. My biggest thing would be just to kind of play with it, mess with it, see if you like it, get your results, test it out, put in some fake records, verify your CSV files, create a snapshot. Again, this is, I think, more for intermediate, advanced skills, to kind of really get comfortable with it. As I mentioned, I did not pay for the advanced feature of ChatGPT. If you're on the free trial and you are asking this, it probably will prompt you and letting you know you're done using the newest version, which I think is like 04 mini or something like that. And then it just reverts you to the basic one. The basic one I think can handle that unless you're asking it to give you a very complex code or anything like that. It'll kind of probably bog down and it won't give you the most accurate information. But again, for the sake of my presentation, it was all free, nothing really to it. I think though this is something that's very beneficial, and I'm just very curious to see, as I mentioned, it's AI is continuously growing, and I think Vanderbilt also talked about the last RedCapCon that they were looking into using ChatGPT. I know Google has their own AI system, Gemini, I believe it's called, but they were thinking of using ChatGPT as kind of an assistant to your RedCap projects, which I think personally would be very interesting and kind of fun to see as it grows. But with that, that's kind of my introduction presentation of utilizing ChatGPT, creating those instruments for you. And I'll open it up for any questions you guys may have.